seeing an absolute classic of a basketball game. I got to see. I got to see something that I don't personally feel that a lot of us might ever see again in terms of just how special it truly was. One second. I don't think, personally, that anyone thought it was going to be something this major. The idea that the Los Angeles Clippers being down 25 points would win in game 6 out of the question. I mean, forget even that game 5. Kawhi Leonard out for the series. Who knows if he could come back? The Clippers again. And what happened? Game 5. They came back. They won. And game 6, it looked like it was over for them. Down 25 points after the first half. The game's over. It's going to go to game 7. But Terrence Mann said no, no, no. And what happened? Paul George, Terrence Mann, Patrick Beverley, and the entire Los Angeles Clippers team went on fire off of the three-point line, scoring 81 points in total in the second half, while the Jazz on the three-point line, they looked lost. And unfortunately for Gobert, they took advantage of that. And now here he is. For the first time in their entire 50-year history, for the first time in 5 decades, the Los Angeles Clippers are going to the conference finals. They couldn't do this during their time as the Buffalo Braves. They couldn't do this during their time in San Diego. They couldn't do this in the many years where they were considered the laughingstock of the league. They couldn't do this during the era of Donald Sterling, or even before the era of the Big Three with DeAndre Jordan, Chris Paul, and Blake Griffin. After many, many, many years of being known as the team that was either the laughingstock of the league, or when they were successful, the one that would always blow leads whenever they would have a chance to go far. Whether that's 3-1 leads, 3-2 leads, or even chances in game 7s. For some way, shape, or form, this team would always underperform. In last year, especially, being up 3-1 against the Nuggets, oh, that was brutal. It just felt like just another of one of these very long instances where the Clippers could never get over that hump. But now it's finally happened. At long last, here they are, conference finals against the Phoenix Suns of all teams. A team for an entire decade did not make the playoffs. A team for an entire decade that was seen as a laughingstock of the league. Think about that for a second. And this Clippers team, coming in as the 4 seed of all things, being down 2-0 against the Dallas Mavericks, found a way to get it done against them. Being down 2-0 against the number 1 seeded Utah Jazz, they also got it done. And here they are against the Phoenix Suns. We have no idea if they're going to beat them, but at least we know that they finally got over that hump. And I got to give major, major, major props to Ty Lue. Tyronn Lue. Whoever says that this man was being carried by LeBron James, you're a fool. This is a legitimately great NBA head coach. What was my prediction? Eric, I can tell you right now, I predicted the Jazz to go to the NBA Finals. I did. I thought they were going to lose to the Nets, but I still saw them going there. And even though the Jazz lost, I am not sad one bit. I am very, very happy for the Clippers. I know the Jazz, 2 years in a row, they blew leads against the Clippers, but so they blew a lead against the Nuggets, and then they blew a lead against the Clippers. But you cannot tell me one shape or another. I am not sad one bit. I am so Oh, you're a Suns fan for 10 years. Oh man, I'm so sorry. Well, how crazy is that? But like I'm trying to say, congrats to Tyron Lue. Like this man, this is what his legacy is going to be. And it's quite an impressive legacy. 4 full years, means 5 full years as a head coach. 4 years as a head coach. And you get to say that you ended all the pain and suffering for Cavaliers fans, and you helped end the suffering for Clippers fans. No one else can say that. The Cavaliers, a team Cleveland, you ended the curse 50 plus 52 years in Cleveland. And you also ended the 50-year drought for the Clippers. And guess what? Tyronn Lue, as a black head coach, at 12 a.m. on Juneteenth. How amazing is that? How amazing is that? How prophetic is that? How beautiful is it for him, for everything that he's done? Nice role player, amazing coach, a true leader, someone who he may have had things in his favor, but you could have things in your favor all you want, but man, you can't question his greatness. I think it's time we give the man his roses. He deserves it. He deserves it. Tyronn Lue. I hope, yes. Now, as for the Western Conference Finals, so before I go on to that, I want to give a shout out to the Utah Jazz. The main reason why they lost the series was because of the 3-point shot and how the Clippers were able to take advantage of their deficiencies guarding the three. And especially that's a big reason why a lot of people thought that the Clippers could beat the Jazz if they were to beat the Mavericks. And that's mainly because the Clippers are a very talented team, both on the starting as well as the bench, and because they are a team that is very good at shooting the three. And when they are hot, which they did in this game, they went off. And unfortunately for the Jazz, while the 3-point shot did help in the Clippers' favor, it did not help in Utah's. And that is the main reason why you've been seeing like the other day when you saw the Sixers and the Hawks game, when you saw this game, a big reason why you've seen that was because of just the immense amount of 3 points that both teams were relying on. And while the Clippers got far ahead for making the three, the Jazz just simply couldn't. And also the free throw, just the shot making. It's all about the shot making. It's not the perimeter shot. It's a much beefier version of like the ABA now. And that happens. That's cyclical. Some may be upset about it. But guess what? Like leads change happen. No lead is safe. It doesn't matter if you're up by one. It doesn't matter if you're up by 31. No lead is safe. And when it comes to the Jazz, like it's another sad one. But there's going to be a lot of three. Oh yeah, there's going to be a lot of threes in the next series. There's no question about it. Now, as for the Clippers, this Suns Clippers series is going to be fire. Now, I do wonder the safety of Kawhi Leonard. I have no idea if he's going to be healthy, if he's even going to play for the next one. But the same, I mean, the ACL injury is real, but it's pretty crazy thinking that, man, the two teams that are not known for a lot of success, they've had great players, but the Suns only been to one finals appearance, and the Clippers have obviously been to zero. So whoever makes it, that's pretty impressive for them. Not bad. Let Kawhi go after saying thank you, of course. Well, yes, but at the same time, I would argue that when it comes to Kawhi Leonard, he's your best player. They'll even say he's your best player. You need to make sure that he is, that he is healthy because he is your franchise, and as and Nash into Kobe. And I know that there's some people like getting upset at Rudy Gobert because, like, oh, see, he's just done the league. I don't think that's really fair. I think that's kind of insulting. It's not really worth it. I don't think it's really worth claiming rumors that Mitchell's going to request a trade. Listen, when he acts a trade, he's going to ask a trade. And I know that a lot of people are going to go off of the Jazz because just like with the Sixers and the Hawks, many fans are trying to pounce as much as they possibly can on a team that blows the lead. And because ever since 2016, we know that regardless of sport, fans love to like crash and nonstop talk about blown leads, blown leads. I get it. I get it. It happens. It happens. No one's guilty. And then that's also true, Eric. It's been a year of injuries. Kawhi's been hurt. Chris Paul's been hurt. And, the Lakers, despite being the 7th seed, let's not forget, for most people, they were still picking the Lakers. Even though they made it past the play-in round, they still were the team that most people saw. They still, despite that, the Lakers were still picked by many to make at least the conference finals. And unfortunately for them, Anthony Davis went down to the injuries. Dennis Schroeder was also out due to injuries, and LeBron James has been dealing with injuries this whole year. And I mean, I didn't pick the Lakers to go to the finals. I picked the Lakers to go to the West Conference Finals. And obviously, LeBron James, you can expect it. But what if LeBron James is hurt? Can you really rely on him then? The answer is no, because everyone's mortal, and obviously, LeBron James is not going to play forever. Everyone knows that. And, he went out in the first round. And to be fair, he won another ring last year. LeBron is one of the greatest players I've ever seen. He's the greatest player of this generation. I do not care who the GOAT is. That doesn't matter. Everyone knows he's a legendary player. But the fact of the matter is, it's a new era. The era of Donovan Mitchell. The era of Luka Doncic. The era of Devin Booker. It's here. This is the future. The era of Giannis Antetokounmpo. The era of Joel Embiid. The era of Trae Young. The new era of the NBA is here. It's here. It's here in front of you. And it's pretty incredible how it's here in front of you. Here to me, LeBron is beyond MG and Kobe, in my opinion. Don't worry. That's fine. I don't care. Let's not forget George Mikan. Are you at that old school, Eric? The Baines do the early start to the season. I knew the Lakers wouldn't make it to the championship. They're not too tired. That is correct. That you're correct, Joseph. You are completely on point. There were a lot of people that are still saying like, "Oh, the Lakers, they'll be fine regardless." They're weak. No, reality is it's just listen. The Lake 43. You see, the reason as to why the Lakers lost in the first round is the same reason why the Heat lost in the first round. And funny enough, both of these teams made it to the finals. They went very, very far, and these were also teams that had a less of rest. And as a result, it's not a shock that they've dealt with injuries. It's also not a shock why they lost their division. And even though many of us did expect, in hindsight, it's not exactly that surprising that they lost in the first round. Not only that, they lost the Heat got destroyed by the Bucks. Oh yeah, I hate to go talk too, Eric. And especially for the Lakers, they've dealt with so many injuries all season. And so not surprise, surprise, the Lakers are not here. The Heat are not here. Instead, you have the Clippers and the Suns. And instead of the Heat, you have a chance to have the Bucks, the Hawks. Can you imagine the Bucks and the Hawks in the conference finals? Times have changed. Times have changed, and I'm very happy that we have. Because even growing up in the 2000s, the Western Conference has always just been the Lakers and the Spurs. I mean, that always kind of got a little bit boring for me, even as a fan. Or you could say the Warriors are always there, and the East, like you always had whoever LeBron James goes to. Or I mean, I love LeBron James, I do, but that could get a little tiring for me too. And the Celtics are always in it, and it just feels like the same teams. And as someone who knows that the league is changing, I'm happy to see these teams that have not been as successful. I mean, come on. When has anyone ever considered the Suns as a successful organization? Very few. Even the Clippers are good. How many people ever consider them as like a truly great perennial contender? No, not many. Many. Oh yeah, I hear you, Eric. Yeah, not true. 4 and 6. Yeah, it's true. Um, but at the same time, it's nice to see the Bucks be good. I'm the Hawks. The last time they won a final, sheesh, you got to go back over 50 years, back when they were in St. Louis, when they beat the Celtics. Yeah, they're obviously in the same conference now, but Yeah. So anyway, the Clippers won the NBA Finals. They'll be celebrating in LA, but they're still not LA's team. Of course, that is correct, Joseph. That is correct. Even if the Clippers do win, it's gonna be like the if the White Sox were to win. I mean, yeah, it'd be nice for the city, but everyone know. I think even they know that they're not LA's team, and that's okay. The Clippers have always been the underdogs. That's why. I mean, many people. I mean, the Lakers are just a. They're the most successful team in the NBA's history. The Lakers are a national brand similar to the New York Yankees or the Dallas Cowboys or the Montreal Canadiens or the Toronto Maple Leafs. It's very similar in that regard. It's very similar in that regard, and it's really not surprising. And changed when they hired James Jones as GM. Yes, that is true. The Suns, they got a bright future. Devin Booker is one of the most exciting young players in the NBA right now. And I'm so happy that you have him. I am so happy that you have him. Because the last time that the Suns made the playoffs was also the last time they made the conference finals, 2010, when they lost to the Lakers. No Lakers here. Here's another fun fact that I'm not sure you know about. Did you know that the Lakers have played against the Suns more times than any other team they've ever faced off in the NBA Finals? Not the finals. They played against the Suns, the Lakers, more than any other team ever in the playoffs. Better give Kendall Jenner more love. Yeah, I thought that's something. Yeah, I'm not even joking. The Lakers have faced against the Suns more than the Celtics. They face against the Suns more than their times against the Pistons or the Blazers or the Kings or the Warriors. Many of these other teams that have been associated with the Lakers over the years, they've faced against the Suns more times than anyone else. How about them apples? Maybe they should make a Wikipedia article on their rivalry. I mean, it's not really much of one, but they just had a lot of playoff series together, just like how the Cowboys and the Rams, maybe like the 70s and 80s, you can argue for them, but they have 10 playoff appearances. Remember, because the Nationals always ran into the Lakers. Yes, that's true. But even go back before then, you also had like, the 80s. In the 90s they ran into the 2000s, of course. And of course, this year. Imagine the Suns go to the finals against, let's say, the Hawks. How crazy would that be? Two teams that never won an NBA Finals against each other. I mean, you could say the Nets, but they still won two finals in the ABA. They at least won stuff. Yeah, maybe not in the NBA, but they still won a couple championships. Or let's say the Bucks, they haven't won in like 50 years almost. The Clippers have never won. The Suns have never won. How crazy would that be? We're seeing stuff that's new. It's good to see things that are new. Campaign going to be flawless. I hope for the sake of the Suns, they do. And now, talking about these Suns and the Clippers, you're probably curious who I personally see winning it. For me, it depends on the health. And I like both these coaches. Obviously, I told you how much I love Ty Lue. And Monty Williams, he's a great head coach, too. He's done an outstanding job for the Suns. In fact, if I recall, he did win, the coaches, defensive coaches voted coach of the year. Could be wrong. But if I were to take a guess, I think this is going to be a 6-game series at least. And I personally believe that if Kawhi is healthy, give me the Clippers in 6. But if he's not, give me the Suns in 6. But if both Paul and Leonard are out, give me the Clippers in 5. Maybe 6. But I think the Clippers will win this series if Kawhi Leonard's not in this series, give me the Suns to win. If Paul George is not in the series, give me, Clippers to win. If both are in this series, I'm taking the Clippers in 6 games. It really depends on the health. If everyone's healthy, give me the Clippers. But if neither of them are healthy, I'm still going with the Clippers. But one thing's for sure, this is going to be a very, very competitive. No, Paul George is not out, but Chris Paul. I got the two confused. Chris Paul's not, Chris Paul, we don't know his status. Paul George is doing fine. Playoff P has been outstanding in this series. I got to say, the NBA playoffs, so many people give the NBA playoffs a bad rep saying, oh, oh, the NBA playoffs, it's always blowouts. I will say, even this year, you did see an instance where, you know, we have seen the Suns obliterate the Nuggets. We also saw an instance where the Jazz, even though they were competitive, still beat the Grizzlies. Oh yeah, no matter what, I'm happy. Regardless of what happens, no one can say that this has been a bad series for the Suns. And as for, the Clippers, hey, listen, for Tyronn Lue, what else can I say? The fact that this man is 12-1 as a coach when his team has a chance to win a series. This guy is a great coach. You got to give that man credit. He is a legitimately great NBA head coach. And I'm happy that people are finally giving him the honor he deserves of a truly great NBA head coach. When his team matters most, he finds out a game plan to devise it. It's going to be what he's known for. The 3-1 lead against the Warriors in the finals. Well, there's actually a reason why LeBron didn't get him instead of Vogel. Well, the reason why is because he didn't want Lue to be associated. Oh, he's just there because LeBron. Because that was also the perception of, Tyronn Lue as the Lakers head coach. Well, not the Lakers, as the Cavs head coach. Even though, I understand it's LeBron James, but yeah, that's true. But now, yeah, Jason Kidd's there. That's also true. But, he has his own team. No LeBron James in sight. And guess what? Yeah, I can see Jason Kidd as the next Lakers coach if they do end up firing Frank Vogel. And Vogel's a good coach, too. Sign with the Pacers shows it. But, this guy can coach. This guy can really coach. I know LeBron James is saying a lot of things, but at the end of the day, a coach is a coach. And Tyronn Lue has shown that whether it's in the 3-1 lead in the finals, he's able to win with these guys. Against like the Pacers in the first round, he's finding a way. Or hell, even that series against the Celtics. Yeah, that's true. LeBron also had Kevin Love and Kyrie. We can't just say it's LeBron James. That's true. Kevin Love and Kyrie Irving. Yeah, that's true. They say he had no help. No, he had help. Kevin Love and Kyrie Irving Kevin Love changed the game for big men. Kyrie Irving was, outside of Dwayne Wade and Anthony Davis, probably the best teammate LeBron's ever had. It's not like he had no one. Oh, yeah, it does annoy me. It always did annoy me, too. But, yeah, Tyronn Lue. I'm just doing... I got a clap right there for him. Like, again, 2-0, 2-0, Mavericks, erased. 3-2, win both. Jazz, 1, 2, 3, 4, clip. I don't know why. It just, but still, he's a great coach. And I know I keep saying it. MJ had Gotti, Rodman wasn't a score alone. Horace Grant, yes, that's true. Yeah, Dennis Rodman, like, you also had, Robert Parrish at the very end of his career. Horace Grant, I mean, obviously he's the only one that's not a Hall of Famer. I mean, Steve Kerr probably will be a Hall of Famer, but, mostly because of his time outside of just being a player. And yeah, you could also say here that, Tyronn Lue has Kawhi Leonard. He has... you could say that, he also has Paul George. Well, yeah, but this is the same Paul George. Yeah, but this is the same Paul George that people said he was terrible in the playoffs. And, Quinn Snyder, he's a great head coach, too. Let's not give him crap. He's a great head coach as well. He's a great defensive mind. But, it just happened. But, Tyronn Lue, he's a great coach. His first year as the Clippers head coach. And the first year's time as Cavs head coach, they went to the finals and won. First year as a Clippers head coach, whoa. That's some legendary stuff right there. If he wins this, and if he stays on, because I think people now realize that Lou is a great head coach. Oh yeah, Mark Jackson deserves another head coaching spot. Who knows if he will get one? But Tyronn Lue, he is very underrated, and I'm happy that he's getting the roses. I just can't get enough of Tyronn Lue. I've always thought that guy was underrated. I know that people thought that it was LeBron running this show, but again, you need to have a great coach, and especially when your best player is out, it needs to rely on. It's about coaching. It's about game plan, and he's there. He's set there for a long time, and I'm happy for him. And Doc Rivers, listen, Doc's a great coach. He's also a future Hall of Famer. He's also, as a black head coach, an amazing one. Yes, I know he's had his history of blown leads, but the Sixers have a chance to go to the. What if we get Clippers and the Sixers? Doc Rivers against his old team. How crazy would that be? How amazing would that be? Amazing. It'd be pretty awesome. And I would say, in the sake of Tyronn Lue, he's very slowly building up his own Hall of Fame case. I know it sounds premature, but I mean, if he gets the Clippers to the finals, that'd be his fourth finals. How many guys can say they've been to 4 finals as an NBA head coach? Not many. Very, very few. Doc Rivers can't say that. You can't say that for guys like Rick Adelman, and he's a great coach, and he's a Hall of Famer. He didn't go to the finals multiple times. I'm happy he's in, but he didn't go there multiple times. You've had guys like Cotton Fitzsimmons, another legendary head coach. They're a Hall of Famer. But he only built a team that went to the finals once. Again, not taking shots, but think about it for a second. 4 finals this guy could be down. 4 finals. He is legendary. It's not just the players. Same with Phil Jackson. People say it's Phil Jackson. Yes, I know. He's gone to 13 finals. Nash coached against his son. That'll also be funny if Nash was coaching against his former team. Funny, Paul Westphal was also coaching as the Suns head coach. That'd also be kind of funny. It would be Nets versus Suns, or Sixers versus Clippers, the Rivers connection or the Nash connection. But you could also argue D'Antoni too. D'Antoni was the head coach of the Suns, and he's the assistant for the Nets. You can't forget that. And to be fair, I'm pretty sure D'Antoni is still helping him out. Even it's still a lot of his own systems as well. I would still give D'Antoni a lot of credit because he's basically an assistant head coach, basically like the main assistant. Yeah, I can't blame you for rooting for Giannis. I mean, I want to see him in the finals. I love Mike Budenholzer. I want to see him in the finals as well. Seeing Clippers Bucks, that was actually my finals prediction last year. Unfortunately, that didn't happen, but I would love to see it this year. I would have no issues with a Clippers Bucks finals. I feel like we were kind of robbed about that last year because both teams lost in the second round. But yeah, it could happen. Anything's possible at this point. And yeah, it's an amazing day. And as for the other game that happened, I mean, there's not really as much to say there. Trey Young had a great game. I mean, his team still lost. It's no conspiracy to make a game 7. They just need to shoot the 3-point. Or any report for Kawhi or Paul yet? No idea for Kawhi, and no idea for Paul. It's still too early. I'll tell you that when I tell you that. And meantime, tomorrow, guys, I'm going to make a video about Juneteenth. Very, very big day tomorrow. First time is a national holiday. Get ready for my video about that. Then again, always great as usual, guys. Thank you so much for watching this video. Make sure to like this video if you haven't already. Make sure you comment down below for anything else you want to say. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Hit the notification bell if you want to be tuned in for videos as soon as possible. Until then, you guys, I'll see you guys next time, and have a great day. And my final prediction for what I think the Western Conference Final is going to be, I see a Los Angeles Clippers win in 6 games, and Tyronn Lue will go to his 4th finals as a head coach. Think about that. Dude's a legend. And so, regardless what happens, what an amazing turn of events. Congrats to the Clippers fans and Jazz fans. Better luck next year. Get a great series. You had a great season. You had great players. You have a bright future. Hope to see you guys next time. And for everyone watching this, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Take care, everyone. Peace.